my goodness. It's a weeknight and I'm feeling all right. Hold on. Let's try this again. We had to do this before. Uno momento. Do 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 do. Alrighty then. And we're still here. We're still alive. It's okay, kids. We're still alive. You're just having a little picture of my vinyl. Just a little bit. What's up, pussycats? Welcome to a Thursday night version of Boobs and Booze. No booze. No boobs. Yay. All right. Trying to look smart, but have no makeup on. See, by the way, this is what a fresh face looks like. Just being silly. I hope everyone is well. I'm doing. I don't know how I'm doing anymore. Let's talk about some stuff, shall we? Before I get to the stuff that is very important in the real world, to the YouTube world. I don't know if this is a better angle? Is this a good angle? Is this good? Is that good? Okay. Should I do like that? Should I? Okay. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm just fucking with you guys. Thank you. I just want to say, I've been getting some really, really crazy people on my YouTube channel. And of course, that is going to happen with anyone that has an opinion on something. But the stupidity and the beyond ignorance is just unpalatable for me. And when I just don't understand people in the internet world of where they want to have beefs or have this obsession to troll without having a reason to troll, which is really funny. Like, por ejemplo, if I disagree with you on something, that is just my opinion, correct? Right. And if I don't agree with you and we have a common ground, which used to happen in certain conversations and debates where you have an equal understanding or have the same opinion and you understand each other, that was commonplace. But when I'm getting people who want to troll me for the incompetence, I can't even say stupidity. It's just pitiful. It's pitiful. And hold on, let me do that. Oh, my pancreas. We're sliding. Oh no, you saw my Prince record. No, oh no, as I'm talking about this. Sorry. There we go. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of stupid motherfuckers that can even insult or troll or have a reason to do the bully or dirtiness that they do. Back in the day, bullies would find a reason to bully that person, such as this person's too short, this person is fat, this person has freckles, this person talks funny. But now we're just trolling people because I mean, there's reasons why to do these things. Um, it's really bewildering to me how much the American education school system has failed most you fucking Americans. And I'm gonna call you everyone out. Not just you white supremacists. Oh no. I'm gonna call some of you Hotep, Fotep, Black conscious, you pretenders, you people that don't even know about the slave trade. Uh, I posted something about reparations, and someone said to me, well, consider the looting and the protesting as reparations. And I said to that stupid white supremacist, well, let's talk about Tulsa. Let's talk about Rosewood. Let's talk about East St. Louis. Let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about San Antonio. Let's talk about LA. We can talk about this. Let's get into it. Come on, use your brain. I know you're very educated, right? Americans are fucking stupid. Yeah, I said it. White people, black people, you silly, silly, silly Latinos that think you can pass. They don't like you either. Okay? Let's get that straight. Now, if I ever decide to get a corporate job, it ain't going to happen because they might see this and they might say, oh no, she's slow. But I don't do that. But anyway, I am seeing the lack of education and the lack of travel experience through social media. And it's crazy. Like, you don't have to have a passport to have knowledge about different people in different places. And there are a lot of things that I want to say to people, but I just don't want to say because it's better if I say it to their face. So I'm going to say it to your face. Hold on. Put on my smart glasses, which I'm already smart, so they're my reading glasses because I am blind as a motherfucker sometimes. But America, you're fucking stupid idiots. Black people, you should know your history. Shame on you. Um, how dare you? How dare you still have this white supremacy ideology and chastise Black women? Black women, stop choosing stupid, slow motherfuckers that you meet on the corner. They don't read well. And to my fellow white people, you're colonizers. It's okay to accept what you did, but you You owe us a lot. You owe us the pain, the misery, the white supremacy ideology that you've whipped into our minds for centuries. And even the Europeans don't even want to mess with the American whites. And to my European brothers and sisters, we'll do another channel on that. But as of right now, I'm speaking of the New World people. So I am speaking of the whites, the blacks, because I don't like to say African American. You know why? Because there are black people in Latin America, and the first drop off on the slave ship was in the islands. So don't get it twisted, black people. You think you're more black than certain than these Latinos? You got another thing coming. The difference between some of these Latinos, they don't know the history, and they are so whipped up in white supremacy ideology that they can't even stomach it, and that is sad. So let's begin there, shall we? Yeah, just a little. We'll go back to the Moors. So for those who don't know, and by the way, I'm a Latin studies major. I do have a degree, and speaking of experience, it's just, and you travel the world and you see things. Traveling, it honestly, education is not from a book or what you learn scholastically. It's actually from traveling and seeing the world. I suggest everyone get a passport. Oh, wait, we can't. We're a shithole country. My bad. We'll move on to that later. Okay, hold on. So, I'm sure some of us know about the Moors. If you don't know about the Moors, they were a very powerful group that came from Northern Africa, or Northern and Central Africa, during the 12th and 11th century and the 10th century. Very powerful. You've heard about the Moors. Hence why the Spaniards, the Italians, and the Portuguese have a little bit of that dark complexion, in which a friendly reminder to my European brothers and sisters who of a part of that lineage. You see, my words are getting twisted. Um, Very powerful, and they got defeated. Unfortunately, the sad thing is, when I talk about the Moors here in the Americas, people are, especially my own people, are starting to realize this, how powerful the Moors were. I mean, we talk about the Egyptians and what have you, and Africa being powerful, but this was the last era of Africa being powerful and not being colonized. I had an argument, not an argument, but a debate about, you know, this person said that Hispanics were colonizing. And I'm like, you idiot. No, you're using your words wrong. If you're trying to say white supremacy, you don't use white supremacy and colonization. White supremacy is an ideology. Colonization is with power and with taking over someone's land. I don't think people understand language and definitions are very powerful. The English language is very powerful. Just like I have to tell people what the definition of racism is, how myself as a Black woman, I can't be racist. I can be a bigot. I can be prejudiced. But the definition of racism is the power construct, and the majority holds the most power. Do I look like, or anyone that looks, even me with my complexion? Because I know that I'm light skinned, not fair skin, difference, but light skin. I know I have a light skin privilege, which we're going to be talking about real soon. Um, Colonization involves money and taking land. Racism, again, is a power construct of people who can dominate, the majority who can dominate, the majority who can, that has the power. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Great. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Hey Paco, come here. Get my dog up here. Sorry, she's wants some attention. Um, I there are a few channels there are a lot of channels I subscribe to. And one of the things that I don't like in some of these channels, and especially some of the black, I don't know if they're feminist channels or what have you. Um, I don't like that I'm here, and this is when I'm speaking to my black women now. Why is biracial or being mixed not accepted into being black? And I'm talking about biracial when it comes to being, like most of us here who call ourselves African Americans, because none of us here are 100% indigenous African unless you come from Africa. Okay, so let's not get that twisted. None of us black people here that come from America who came off the boat, you got, the majority of us got some rape in our blood. We got some unwilling whiteness. So I don't like the fact in certain channels, I'm not going to say her name, but it seems like it's not hatred, but like biracial women aren't black, or mixed women are black, and just ill. You know, to a white supremacist, they think a nigga is a nigger. I'm just saying, they don't care if your mama is black and your daddy's white. To them, you're just an absolute nigger to them, and they would like to see you hanging and dangling someplace. I'm just saying. And the fact that, you know, mixed people who are half black and half white, we know which gene is more dominant, which is the black gene. How dare you shun these people? Jordan Peele is mixed, but y'all niggas probably didn't know that, but you accept him, don't you? Did you know Anna Marie Horsford, who was the security, she's been around for a long time. She was in that show Amen. She was the security guard in uh, the Wayans brothers, and she was the mom in Friday. Did you know that she's Afro Latina? She's actually, I think she's from Cuba with a pretty dark skin. Yeah, she's an Afro Latina. But again, to certain black people, that sucks. These Latinos, these some of my black people are starting to sound like white supremacists, and I don't like it. It's because you are not educated. You're starting to sound like the white man, the racist white man, and you don't even know that. I mean, I know I have my issues. I know I have my issues with myself and the white supremacy ideology that I've had to deal with in my own head. But I know at least where I come from, and I at least know what blackness is. Blackness is not about the color of how dark your skin is. You can tell. We as black people can look at each other and know what blackness is. And we know what white supremacy is. And no, I don't like that Oreo cookies thing because I used to be called Oreo cookie. And I'm not even mixed race. People used to tease me and say I'm a mixed nut. You mixed nut, you half breed, blah blah blah. And by the way, both my parents are black. Really? And it was because I talked like this. It's because I was smarter than them. It's because I came from a good family. But I also share my colorism with the fact of the matter, me being teased because of being light skinned. I hated being in my skin growing up. I wanted to be darker. My cousin Larry used to tell me when I was starting at 4 years old, hey, if you drink coffee, it'll make you black. Oh, really, cousin Larry? Yeah. I drank coffee for 4 years until I was 8 and didn't realize, and then realized that was a lie. I always wanted to be darker. And then it wasn't until my high school years how I actually started to realize I was benefiting from being light skinned and fetishized. And I didn't like that. People would call me Oreo, yellow cake, high yellow, pretty girl for light skin pretty girl. That shit don't make you feel good. And that's for my own people. And then on the opposite end, when I try to hang out with preppies, it was like, you're not like the rest of them. Or, oh my God, I want your tan. Or let me touch your hair. Like a chia pet. It's no winning. So at that point, I was like, oh, I hate all you motherfuckers equally. You're all pieces of shit to me. So that's when I started reading books even more. I mean, I grew up, when I was in fifth grade, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. When I was in third grade, I read To Kill a Mockingbird. My grandmother, when I was 9 years old, gave me The Miseducation of a Negro and the ISIS Papers. Yeah, But what hurts me the most, and I'm not talking to these fucking white supremacists. You can have an opioid and smile. I don't care about you. But what I have to say to my own people is it really hurts that we don't know, and we haven't even, some of us have not even done better within our own culture of Black people, the whole diaspora, excuse me, I say diaspora, the diaspora. When I have African Americans talking about Africans and saying they're not Black, or Black people, British Black citizens, let me tell you something, my Black Americans, we suck. We suck. Yeah, I said it. We suck. We need to do better and learn better. We need to know about our own people and stop putting this divide within the diaspora. Really? We're supposed to be leaders. We are a lost culture. How dare us think that we're better? We're all kings and queens. Don't you get it? No, you don't. I've been mad at my people for a long time. I know my Blackness. Do you? Has some of y'all niggas ever been to Jamaica? Have y'all been to Puerto Rico? Have you been to Latin America, motherfuckers? Do you know even about Louisiana and the Creole? Have you been to the island of Hispaniola? Have you been to Africa? Have you been to the Middle East? Do you know anything about the Blackness that is going on in Southeast Asia? Miss me with that bullshit. I'm popping off. You are making white supremacists win by not knowing your shit. You win by numbers. You gain power by numbers. You do it like what the Moors did. Not all of the Moors were just from Northern and Central Africa. People traveled. The Moors conquered, and they conquered for a long time. And yes, they were defeated because of the Middle Ages. And actually, it was also the Black Plague that it didn't kill the Moors, but thank God the Plague came through, and it's just like, oh, back away from that bullshit. We're going back to Africa. No. History is repetitious, and people need to learn, and especially my Black people. And by the way, Black people are not. I am talking to you Afro Latinos. I'm talking to you Middle Eastern Arabs that think that you're white, but you're not. I know you. We're gonna talk. By the way, the slave trade in the Middle East. I've been to the right there in Oman, where the drop off is outside of Muscat. I've been there. I'm going to tell you something about my heritage and my background really quickly. Number one, I identify myself as a Black woman. That is number one. That's something that my grandparents always said. You are. Black, number one. Numero dos. My grandfather and my great grandmother, who was full blood Cherokee, was born. They were born in a reservation. My grandfather was born in a reservation in Oklahoma. They were pushed off during World War One. My grandfather did not like to talk about that until his later years. And then when people want to talk about, well, the Native Americans got the reparations, you know who got the reparations? Those $5 Indians, AKA white people that said that they were Indian. My great grandmother used to have a rifle by her side and hide her money in her wheelchair because she was afraid of the white man taking her money. So, yes, that is the indigenous blood I come from, along with my African black side. But you know, there's another side. On my grandmother's side, my great great grandfather, Sip Lee, who came from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, he came over here in the 1890s, chilled in Louisiana, and that's where he met my great grandmother on my grandmother's side, or my great great grandmother. He left Saudi Arabia to get a better life, but they were able to establish a business. So I have a lot of fighter, warrior blood in my roots. And can't nobody ever tell me what I am or what I'm not or where I come from. But it's also up to my people or peoples to educate yourself because we all suffer from white supremacy ideology. And I don't think a lot of us realize that. It's something that is ingrained into us. And actually this is not even about being American anymore. It's all over the world. Like I have family in Asia and the people staring at you and what colonialization has done in the media and this idea of how black people are scary and it's sad when the scariest people are the ones who created white supremacy. Like Muhammad Ali said, no Viet Cong ever called me nigger. But again, my people, and stop disappointing me with being celebrity obsessed. What the F is wrong with y'all? Who did y'all not have any heroes other than like a 50 Cent or like a basketball player? Did y'all not look up to anyone? I know one of my heroes was like Malcolm X and Angela Davis when I was growing up, and Prince, because he was for the weirdos like me. Eh. Like, I love when I'm on some of these like certain chat rooms, people get mad because, por ejemplo, let me I'll tell you for an example. Do, 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 do. Oh no, I'm live. Oh, someone got mad at me because of 50 Cent. Someone said, like, 50 Cent is the GOAT. And I said, he's the GOAT? Really? So the GOAT actually, it's funny. He makes fun of black people all the time. And he's a 46-year-old man that trolls like a 14-year-old girl. That is a great man. Really? Like, come on. And then it's just supreme suckers. We ain't gonna win this. We ain't gonna win white supremacy by being an all-day sucker. Come on, people. Learn, read a fucking book. Like, get get the molasses out your ass and do something. Who cares about Cardi B and praying mantis offset? Who cares? How's that affect us? Is that gonna pay our rent? Is that gonna pay our bills? What they gonna do to us? Do they know? Do we know them? Huh? Do we get free tickets out of it? No. Who cares? We need to stop being celebrity obsessed because that's what they want you to do, man. And you're falling for the Kool-Aid. You're falling for the okey doke. They want you to be celebrity obsessed. And by the way, you can have a balance, but there's so many people out here, especially of our own ilk, that don't even know who the vice president is. But they know that Meg the Stallion got shot. And they know that, like, Tory Lanez, he might not be guilty, but he is guilty. I'm not even going to go into that because I just want that story to die. It's so old. He shot her, blah, blah, blah. End of story. Moving on. But our priorities, you're falling into the priorities that these white supremacists want you to fall into. They don't want you to know who Dr. Reverend Barber is. They don't want you to know about Tamika Mallory. They don't want you to know about the new Black Panther Party. They don't want you to know about um, certain parts, intersections of the Black Lives Matter movement. And yeah, I know some of these people, my own people, are like, I'm not for the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, you're a black motherfucker. You shouldn't worry about your life. Get out your head. Get the molasses out your ass. Exactly. Malcolm X warned us about celebrity behavior, and lo and behold, we fall into the trap. Congratulations, you played yourself. Now, hey, buddy. This is Paco. Paco, you want to say a few words? All right, cool. Now, to the people I really want to curse the fuck out. Oh, you white supremacist. You. Come here. Hold on. Just give you a little show. Oh, you white supremacist. Aren't you funny and stupid? Don't you have a high IQ? Hmm. For you to call us lazy. Look at you calling us lazy. Oh, I love it when they call us lazy because it was only 400 years of just profiting off our bodies as chattel because you couldn't build anything on your own. It's your places of lazy bullshit. Oh, wait, hold on. First, you had to kill off the indigenous because you're like, who are these people? Oh, they gave you a blanket, you gave them smallpox. Oh, by the way, my indigenous people, and that includes some of you Latino, learn something, okay? You, oh, you white supremacists are so angry. Grr. Your anger doesn't make me sad or scared. It makes me laugh. You know why? Because it's comical as fuck. It's comical because you have this twisted idea of what? How pure and innocent, and how we didn't do anything. And, you know, we came here for a, a better way of life. And we came here for religious persecution. And look what you did. Look what you did, white supremacy. Look what you did, pilgrims. Now, I love when they say, get over it. Well, you get over 9/11. Too soon? Okay. No offense to those family members who have perished, but if you know the truth about 9/11, it was about greed. But let me carry on. Oh, hold on. Come here, white supremacist. Oh, come get it. Come here, kitty cat. Come get it, this boy. Come on, white supremacy. Come get it. Come on, you're like a bunch of pussies. Come on, you can get this. Yeah, come on. Oh, you can't? Oh no, you're too high? Oh gosh, oh no, opioid. Oh no. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I think the light just got a little bit darker here. Darn. Because this conversation is going to be dark as fuck. I do not, and I will not, and I will not apologize for my blackness. I will not apologize for anyone I offended, because I'm not offending anyone. If I did, well, you should really read a book and shut the fuck up. And wait, hold on. Boyfriend in the other room. I will not and shall not apologize for anything that I say because everything that I'm saying is fact and truth. White supremacy is an ideology. You do not have to be white to think this way, but we know who we learned it from. Those are the true colonizers. And I got into a little debate where this person wanted to call Hispanics, which I don't like that word Hispanics because that's a made up word from the Nixon administration. I like to call them Latinos or call them by what country they come from because Latinos are a mix. Okay, let's get this straight. I'm going to get this out of the head. Latinos aquí, that means here, they are not Spanish. They speak Spanish, which is from Spain. Spanish people are from Spain. They are Spaniards. Unfortunately, Latinos here call themselves Spanish, but people in Spain do not like that because they are different and they are more closer to whiteness than these motherfuckers that call themselves Spanish here, which AKA they're Latino. But they don't even know that because they're lost in white supremacy ideology, which was on purpose and for a reason. By the way, first drop offs of the Western slave trade, right? The states only got 13%. South America and the islands and Central America and Mexico got the most. Read a book, motherfuckers. Okay. Where was I? Okay. White supremacy. Liking these. Fly. Anywho. I just want to do that on purpose. So, as I'm talking about white supremacy, I was just breaking down the whole fact of like the Latin, I almost said Latin experience, but that's an experience. That was a boat ride. Anywho, that's how white supremacy locks into the mindset where you even have Black Americans that don't even know about the Afro-Latinos, brothers and sisters who came first on the boat drop-off and that had a culture. The difference between African Americans and Afro-Latinos, they had a culture. The Spanish, and I'm talking about during that time, because Spain was the one that raped and killed and gave herpes to every motherfucker. In Latin America, thank you, Spain, for giving everyone herpes and killing people. They were the ones that wanted everyone to intermix. Their white supremacy was different in contrast to here in the States, where it was harsher. They see in Latin America, what they were trying to do was breed out the Black blood. And so what you have now, and there's a saying, the abuela in the closet, the grandmother in the closet. I gotta look up the saying again. But the point was in Latin culture was basically the fuck the Black away. Pretty smart, slightly. As for here in the States, it was just don't breed with them, kind of, sort of, rape, kill them. I don't know what America was trying to do. Oh, and I'm not saying what the caste system what they did in Latin America was much better. No, it was much harsher. And it's actually why they're very even more lost today. Like you have Mexicans that don't know about Pio Pico, who was the last governor of California before it turned over to the United States. Pio Pico was Afro Mexicano. Another fun fact is about Yanga. And Yanga was an African slave in Mexico that fought the Spaniards and won and helped the indigenous in Mexico, aka where Veracruz is. Okay? Just a little fun fact for some of my Latinos that think that they're white. They set you up and they fall for the okey doke, just like we're falling for the okey doke. You know, and then let's talk about this. I moved to California. I speak Spanish, un poquito. Yes, I know Big Cat, the Spanish conqueror, but Yanga, look up Yanga. Dude, I'm a Latin studies major. I know about this. I know they conquered. I'm talking about in the 1600s, sweetheart. Look up Yanga in Veracruz. Okay? Gracias. Please. Don't. One thing for sure is like, I will admit when I'm wrong about certain things, but there are certain things that I know and that I studied and I read about for a fucking reason. That wasn't going to you, Big Cat, but I don't like when people are like trying to challenge me on something that I actually know and you can actually look it up. I'm not one of these people that's just gonna pull bullshit out their ass. And you're Colombian. Yeah. I the thing is, I sometimes feel a little bit closer to the Afro Latin community. You know why? Because there's a culture. Some of my fellow Afro Latinos know that they come from Africa, some of them. There's, when we hear the music of salsa and the drums and mufongo, the food that comes from Africa. And I know about the abuela in the closet, but it's also my fellow African Americans that don't know about that. Because for some reason, African Americans think they're just 100% black. Nigga, please. Somebody raped your grandmother. Shut the fuck up. Or your grandfather. Actually, no, you can't get pregnant by your grandfather. Somebody raped somebody. I'm just saying. But going back to white supremacy, you white people, you're not, you think you're slick. I put up something earlier today about reparations because there's a show on mainstream media that is talking about how reparations is getting popular. I believe it's on ABC. And I like that. And I'm, of course, all for reparations. You kidding me? It's overdue. And of course, oh, here come the white people. Reparations. Yo, let me read. Come on, let me just read some of this. I'm like a white person trying to tell me about reparations, and then they want to bring some indigenous American shit. Motherfucker, I wouldn't. I was about to say I wish someone would, but they did. But I had to school them on their stupidity. Because number one, they don't know shit from Shinola. This is what this cracker-tastic person said to me. So I said, reparations, we don't need a study. It needs to happen. I said, thank you for making this mainstream and teaching the real history. Someone says, never going to happen. And I said, oh, yeah, just like they said they're never going to have a black president. And then someone said, why didn't y'all ask for reparations during Obama? And I said, we did. Okay. And then Nikki Smith, she was my favorite. I just want to, most were sold by their own people. Yes, we know this. Collateral. Maybe read about your own history. I don't like when people say that because they don't know about our history. And we always hear about Black people crying about slavery, yet we never talk about the millions of Europeans who were enslaved up until the 1700s by African pirates. Bitch, please. Google Barbary slave trade. Educate yourself and realize that every group has been screwed over at some point by another groups. Get over it. Furthermore, Asians were wrong during World War II. See, this is when I know I'm like, I don't like that people of color thing because they use Asians as a way to dilute, and that is wrong. That's a whole different topic. Furthermore, okay, Asians were wrong during World War II, but they aren't crying about reparations. And actually, they did get money for the enslavement camps, you stupid cunt. Okay. The Native Americans had a genocide committed against them, not against them. White men killed them, you fucking cunt. I fucking hate people like this. And I'm part indigenous. And first of all, indigenous people don't like to be called Native Americans. We like to be called indigenous. Read a fucking book. Get a clue. They had a genocide against them by the federal government, and they don't ask for reparations. Oh my God. Hold on, let me just. Punch the air. Okay. I think I mentioned earlier about the $5 Indian and how the United States was trying to pay off the Indians and what have you. Oh, I can't stand cunts like this because she does not know. Oof. The Native Americans had a genocide committed against them by the federal government, and they don't ask for reparations. Fix the problem and stop asking for a handout. Who the fuck has the biggest handout? Corporations, anyone? I don't know. I heard those farmers got they got a great welfare package out of Trump. What was that bailout in 2008? Welfare? Okay, all right. Let's keep it going punch this bitch in the face. Fix the problem and stop asking for a handout from those of us who didn't even have anything to do with slavery back then because we came here after. Typical. That one was too easy. That one was too easy. That was such a typical, too easy white supremacist. Still asking for a handout. Yeah. Okay, the handouts. Well, since we are a socialist country, those handouts during the Great Depression, during FDR when he was president, those handouts weren't for the Black or Latinos that were here struggling at the time in the 1930s. No, we weren't able to get those programs, those handouts, the Social Security that we have. And the GI Bill during World War II handout. We didn't. Again, you silly fucking cunt. We weren't able to get those handouts because we were discriminated against. They didn't want us to have it. Do you know that there was free college at one point in time? Ooh. Come here, white supremacist. Come here. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. You can get it. Get it. Gotcha. Made me want to have a drink. I'm this close. The typical white supremacist response. Luckily, there weren't too many responses like that, but it's just, this is why, my people, you need to be cautious about the ideology that we pick up on. And yes, I'm not going to sit here and say that I, let's get something straight. Whatever pro Black means is someone, I'm for our people. Pro Black, whatever. But I am more of a fighter of stupidity and ignorance and white supremacy ideology. That shit is funny, and that's how they think. And it's comical. And they've been thinking that way for centuries. It gets old. It gets old. And it's at that point where you're like, why am I arguing with this person? They're just like their great great grandpappy, the rapist. What do I do with that? I'm like Ike Turner. What am I do with two more kids? Huh? What am I do with two more kids? I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Oh, oh. You're kitty, 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 white supremacist. Here you go. Come on and get it. Come on and get this white supremacy. All right. I am having one kombucha for the night because I don't need to drink. But that see you next Thursday made me want to have a little something. Meanwhile, at the Bunny Ranch, uh, oof. Everything I said earlier, when I talk about my people, and even, when I say my people, that includes the indigenous folks because they got the shit end of the stick. Um, they are really trying to poison us. And the way they poison us is making sure that they have you by ignoring what the real issue is here. Don't look here what's really happening. Look at these pretty colors. Look at this celebrity shit. Don't pay attention to what's going on in Congress. Don't look at TMZ. Look, that's important. Don't look at the fact of like if your unemployment is getting cut or your school system and what have you, your after school programs are getting cut. But hey, so and so is getting divorced. That's more important. Those are the things that they've been doing for decades. And some of us have succumbed to that okey doke. And it's very dangerous. And it's making us lose. And it's making us even turn on each other and making us lose our critical thinking skills. Certain silly things such as like celebrity worship and all that stuff, we're all guilty of it. But when it's in your face constantly, they want you to ignore the real issues so that it's by design. They're setting you up to fail again, just like redlining, just like the American education system. They're setting you up. And then, as someone that loves hip hop, I was born in the 80s, so I grew up with the best era of hip hop ever. We have death culture in hip hop. You know why we have death culture? Because we are not in charge of our own destiny. We're not in charge of the Def Jam. We don't have a Motown anymore. We don't even have a BET. Bob Johnson sold out. We have a bunch of people and culture vultures that took over, and they're trying to feed us what blackness is. And we are buying into it. We some suckers sometimes. But some of us are waking up to that because what's going on right now is the white fear, white fear, white fear, white fear, white fear, white fear. White fear. White fear. Sorry. I'm gonna make that a house track. White fear. White. Or I can make it into like a new wave. White fear. White fear. Blowing through my mind. White fear gonna dominate. White fear's gonna blast away. White fear cross the line. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll stop. That's terrible. Um, because pretty soon, if we're talking about we're in the shitty year of 2020. 2035 is when basically 2035, 2040 is basically when the takeover, in which that takeover is not really going to be a takeover. It's just going to be like y'all going to be the minorities. Sarate, that's y'all's fault. But they think, and I'm talking about the white supremacists, and this is not all my white brothers and sisters. You know who you are. You know I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about those white supremacists and some of y'all coons and some of you Tio Tomas. The white supremacists are losing. This is what happens before every revolution or any changing of the process in the modern world. We went through it during World War II, or excuse me, the Civil Rights Movement, World War II, the Civil War, uh, the American Revolution. I'm just speaking of here in the New World. But they really are afraid that we are going to enslave them. Some of them really think that we are going to do what they did to us, though some of us are looking for some revenge. No, we're not looking for revenge because we're not that ilk. We're not that evil. We're not colonizers like that. You work with us, we work with you. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard to, I mean, give me 40 acres and a muted John Deere tractor. I like that. And actually, John Deere tractors are dope. um, you just really took me back. I'm a Midwest girl, so like my grandfather had a John Deere tractor. I used to ride it with him in the back. Uh, and I used to fish and play in the creek and get crawdaddies, as they call them. Got a little Southern Ozark girl in me. I'm not too much of a city. I may be a city slicker, but got a little bit of countryness. Um, but I'm actually really proud of the family that I come from and where I was raised and the things that happened to me because I come from a very diverse family and what my grandparents did and where they came from and the stories. I am a true American story, like so many of us. that look like me, that are darker than me, and we aren't treated the same way. When I have someone tell me like that "See You Next Thursday" that I read, say that the Native Americans didn't get a handout or didn't ask for a handout. Oh, you bet we asked for money. You kidding me? That's where $5 Indian count came from. I told that, let me just read the response so I can get this out of the way. Because I said, and look at how the white merchants profit. That house on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we built that. The white folks were too lazy to build their own, so they'd rather enslave humans. So for 350 years of chattel, we were murdered, raped, and kidnapped. We built this land for free, but you don't want to talk about that. Oh, please don't tell me about history. I studied this in college and not through a Google app. Oh, plus, by the way, I am of Cherokee heritage, and it was the white folks, the $5 Indians, and this is true, um, posing as natives who took money from our community and used it as theirs. And that's what they're going to do with reparations. So be cautious, people. They're going to use the, I'll get back to that for a moment, but my grandfather even told me this. They used that when in the 70s, during a lot of like when the indigenous people were starting to get a little bit of, it's not even reparations. The indigenous Americans did not get reparations, ladies and gentlemen. They did not get a lot of money. The white people stole that money by using the $5 Indians. So when I hear black people talking about, well, the Native Americans got their money. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Have you ever been to a reservation? It's really sad. It's worse than a ghetto. It's pretty fucking sad. And by the way, there ain't too many indigenous here. But when I hear shit like her, this, see you next Tuesday. Excuse me, it's Thursday. See you next Thursday. It really grinds my gears. They would use the fact that they had a certain percentage of indigenous blood. There's a certain percentage that you had to have in order to get a certain benefit, to get money. Lo and behold, here comes Whitey saying like, well, I'm 18th Choctaw, or I'm 57th, or I'm 38th, and they're the ones that got the money. They took it before the real indigenous could get it. So miss me with that bullshit. The people I'm fighting for are my people, black people and indigenous people. I am 1/6. Did I get that math right? I think I did. My grandfather is full blood. Okay. I think I got it right. And I have my grandfather's birth certificate. All right, let me finish this. See you next Tuesday. Oh, I was saying this. So I said, plus I am of Cherokee heritage, and it was the white folks, $5 Indians posing as natives who took the money from our community. My grandfather was born on a reservation, so you seem very ignorant on your history and of certain Americans. It seems you have a hatred of the truth and have a history of what this country has done to Black Americans. Your white supremacy ideology is showing, and it's very embarrassing. I suggest you need to read up on a history book or learn something new. And then I had someone say to me when I was talking about how Black people build the White House. This is to the max who said this. The slaves join the workforce. Slaves don't join. That's the start right there. Slaves don't join a workforce. They're forced in. See, these people just high IQs. Uh, Slaves joined a workforce that included local white laborers and artisans from Maryland and Virginia, as well as immigrants from Ireland and Scotland and other European nations that built the White House. Pause. I'll give you something on the Irish. The niggas of Europe. What I say? The Irish, our niggas are Europe. Irish, our niggas. Who they colonized? Nobody. Because the niggas are Europe. Because at one point in time during the 1860s to the 1890s, the Irish were looked upon as lower than Black people, especially in the 1870s. During Reconstruction, the Irish were looked upon as indentured servants. And so they were treated like, but surprise, they found their whiteness in a paddy wagon. Oh, sorry. They created a paddy wagon. So they used to mock the fact that a bunch of Irish people were drunk and they would load them up into a wagon and they would call it a paddy wagon because they were all Irish people. Isn't that's, we still call it a paddy wagon. And they're police now. So they got their whiteness through becoming police. I used to have this sign on my door when I lived in Chicago on the third floor. And I love this sign. It said, no dogs, no Irish, no Mexicans, no blacks. 1910, Texas. And so when all my Irish blokes would come through, they would see that. And I'm just like, you're entering a zone where you're going to be equal and treated the same way. And you're going to be reminded how you were treated. Whoops. Some people forget. I never forget. Let's see. I've been talking for a long time. Oh, oh, oh yeah. This person to the max. The person I just read, they responded to me and said, you claim white folks were lazy to build their own, which was a fallacy on your part. Hence my contradiction. Thanks. White folks were lazy here in the States. They hired free labor. See, this is why you can't argue with stupidity. Like, I am not kidding when I say that. These people are saying this stuff. It's okay, Poop. Come here. Jeez. That's not, you're not getting me on that. God, these people are so unintelligent. It's not, I can't even, how am I going to argue with stupid? It's, you claim white folks were lazy to build their home, which was a fallacy on your part. You were lazy from 1619 to 1866. Congrats. I just, it's just, there's a point in time when I would waste my breath and be like huff and puff, like, oh, I can't believe it. Oh, let me just, now it's just like, you're stupid and slow. Anyway, let's talk about something fun. Let's get out of this, okay? Mm, I hope you guys like my record collection. Record collection. Oh, do that. I'll go this way. Eh, eh. Okay, we're back. uh, I hope everyone's having a good night. I think I'll mess around with the live chat. I see Big Cat and Michael. Trump's wall would have employed a lot of Mexicans. I don't know. I don't like that. And first of all, that's ignorant as fuck. Mm-mm. Oh, you one of them, Big Cat. Okay. Michael, are you still there? First of all, Mexico, California, and Texas, and Colorado, and New Mexico, and Utah, and Arizona, they're in Mexico. You can't build a wall to something that was originally theirs. They're just going to get their land back. So stop it. And that build that wall shit, come on, really? That's so passe. That's 4 years ago. Actually, they should build a wall against this shithole country with COVID. We the nastiest country in the world. Don't nobody want to fuck with us. Mm, I don't blame it. Build Mexico, build a wall against us. America. Yeah. Am I proud to be an American? Eh. I like it. It's cool. I like my freedoms. Oh wait, am I free? I don't know. I mean, it is better than being in a third world country, but we are third world right now. And the way things are looking, we're about to go really banana republic like a motherfucker. Like the rest of the world don't want us. I can't even go and visit family outside the country. You kidding me? Cesspool of America. Michael, yeah. See, you and I are here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cesspool of America. At least you are not sure. Big Cat, have you ever been outside the country, sweetheart? Do you really think that's what the rest of the world is? I don't know what, at least you are not sharing showers. Or are you? I don't know what that means. Is that's prison? I don't know. That sounds prison like, sweetheart. Have you been to Latin America or Europe or Asia? You don't share showers, or the Middle East. You definitely don't share showers in the Middle East, that's for sure. Like, honey, have you do you want to come with me and travel someplace? Okay, okay. That's what it, I was just like, I'm giving you the side eye. I'm like, I'm gonna let you. Okay. And by the way, no, I'm not one of these people that's like anti-American, blah blah blah. Yeah, you're right. I need. Oh, Julius is here. I talked about you earlier, Julius. I didn't say your name. I was just talking about colonizer versus. Mhm. You can watch the replay. Um, I'm just saying the fact that whenever, listen, folks, this is really hard to say in this time of disaster and something that should have been already passed. But whenever you get a chance, please go see the rest of the world. Um, yes, cruise ship. Yes, Big Cat. They do. Yeah, they do. They count. Cruise ships do count. They do. Because and Big Cat, thank you for mentioning that. I got my first rude awakening. This is after I graduated high school. This is like in 2003, 2004. I got an inheritance, and my mom, myself, and my best friend at the time. I was in college and I was on spring break, and my mom's like, well, why don't we go on a cruise? And so we went on, I believe it was at the time, it was Carnival. That was the first cruise I went on. And no, Julius, don't be afraid. I'm just talking about the difference. I'll get back to you. Hold that thought, Julius. Um, so we went on a cruise on Carnival. Do not go on Carnival cruises. They abuse their workers. They're terrible with their workers. It's really sickening. Um, we went to the Cayman Islands. We had a 5-day cruise with the Cayman Islands. Um, uh, was it the Barbados as well? Anyway, so the Cayman Islands, which is still, I believe, a British colony. That was the worst. Ignorant, racist. I felt like I should take many cold showers. Vacation. When we went to the Cayman Islands, I saw these beautiful Black people segregated. They could not go into the high end stores. They could not go into Chanel stores. They were not allowed. But then when we go into the markets, they would braid all the tourist Black people's hair. I will never forget that. And these women are like, come, come. And I'm like, no, no. And I just see just like all these white people, and they're sitting there braiding their hair, and it's through this tourist market. And I remember this one lad, I was, this really nice, and the guard stopped him and said, like, he can't come here. I'm like, why can't he come here? He's a local. Can't come here. Luckily, I mean, This is 2003, 2004. So I remember getting on my laptop because I didn't have a BlackBerry uh, back on the ship, and I was like, fucking segregation. I knew it. I remember leaving that island cursing and cursing out so many people. And I'm like, why are you letting this happen to you? You're a British colony. You are not slaves anymore. What's going on? Why are you doing this? And this is like my 19, 20, 21-year-old self thinking like I can be a hero. Mm. That was my first time off, you know, out of being out of the States. So I thought I could be a hero to every Black person. And they were just so like, in their eyes, they were programmed into it. I'll never forget that. I haven't been back. I don't like that island at all. I don't like the way in England. I My dude is English and he knows. But that how are you going to tell people not to go into a store when it's their island? That's theirs. Just because you colonize. And see, Julius, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to colonization. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to colonization. We were talking about uh, Hispanics and Latinos. There's a difference between being Hispanic, which is a made up word by the Nixon administration. I like to call them Latinos. Hispanics are that's a government word. Okay, so let's throw that. That's trash because that doesn't even include Afro Latinos. This is why words and vocabulary really matter. But I saw colonization on that island and it made me sick and it pissed me off and it still pisses me off to this very like even talking about that story. Like, why are you guys so defeated? What is wrong? Colonize. I've been to like Jamaica and I've been through the Atlantic and I've been to parts of Asia, not all of it, but not enough. But if you want to see real colonization or Puerto Rico, which is our 51st state. See, okay, let's talk about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, they are US citizens. In 1920, during, I believe that is President Woodrow Wilson, they were trying to, there was sugarcane still, and they were raping and pillaging the country. Um, Racist Wilson, exactly. Uh, Puerto Rico is America, okay? They're US citizens. There is no, she's Puerto Rican or he's Puerto Rican. No, they're a US citizen. So This is why vocabulary really matters, because the way that we are taught is wrong. You don't say like, well, she's Minnesotan and he's like Michigonian. You don't say that, right? Yeah. The reason why they do that to Puerto Ricans because, gee, I wonder how dark it is. And don't get it twisted. America did that on purpose, especially in the 1920s. Um, the Jones Act is what happened with Puerto Rico. Um, and it was with the shipping and because the it was close to the Americas and shipping and what have you. Puerto Rico wanted the money, and then America was like, no, you dark ass niggas, no, you can't have this. We want everything. Raw. Because America does that. America's bullies. And so that is why Puerto Rico is the way it is. But here's the fucked up part about Puerto Rico. They cannot vote. They're US citizens, but they cannot vote. I met a dude in San Juan who worked for the US government, got paid really well, couldn't vote. Unless he moved to like Florida and shit, but couldn't vote. You know why they couldn't vote? Because they niggas that can swim. Uh, that's props to Paul Mooney. Oh, they're just niggas that can swim. But this is one of the reasons why I took Latin studies and I was a major in it because I want to know the history of us because the history of us is not just here in America. And like I said earlier, the United States is not the first drop off of that boat. The first drop off is in the islands and in Latin America. You got to know your blackness, and it don't start in Jamestown, okay? But even when in the 1950s, Puerto Rico was trying to get their state become a state, and they still are, but they've given up. Um, Puerto Rico should become a state. The only reason why they're doing that is because they are niggas. China would fuck America up. Oh, Julius. You want to talk about China? You're going to make me go into my Africa talk. I have family in China. I'm not going to tell you where. But I know what China's doing to Africa. Hey, Akon, are you locked up yet? Oh, no, you're getting money to build that city. You're getting that from China. Okay. China is actually trying to uh, colonize Africa. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't like it, and I don't like the fact that certain Africans are buying into that. It's about time that you grow a fucking pair and not let the Chinese take over what you've built. Julius, that's colonization. Colonialism is about money and taking over people's land and resources. Those so-called people that we were talking about earlier, they didn't have the resources or the money. That's like saying the Irish are going to take over. The Irish. Oh, I don't like that either. This is why, and this is why the conversation that I'm having, and I may be ranting all over the place, but it's it's a dialogue that needs to happen, especially with us here in the States, where a lot of people, and especially from the diaspora, look at us as powerful people. Though I don't think they look at us as powerful anymore because they've seen a lot of videos of us getting our ass whooped and saying, "No, I forgive. Stop it hurting me. No, I forgive. I'm sorry, Master. I'll never do it again." I am drinking kombucha. It is an alcoholic drink. I'm not going to say it's healthy, but what I'm trying to say is like us as Black Americans and Black people. Here's one thing I don't like. Let me just say this now too. I don't think I said this earlier. Do not fall into the white supremacy trap of saying like, well, he's Haitian, and so we ain't talking about reparations for them, or he's from England, or he's from Canada. Don't do that. That's white supremacy ideology that you're falling into. Anyone that comes from the West who was stolen, we deserve reparations. Blackness is a fear throughout the world. Okay? Blackness is not American. Do you think you Black people here in America think you're 100% Black? Nah, nigga, you ain't. Oh, I hate saying that word. No, I've never met a 100% African indigenous person that has lived in America and their ancestors have been American their whole life. I'm just saying. So who are we to judge other Black people of the diaspora? Nigga, you probably have a white granddaddy or great 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 granddaddy. I did 3 DNA tests and noticed where and shit didn't change. Well, certain things did, but the white side didn't change. But what was really nerve-wracking for me was that possible white side in my lineage wasn't by choice. Good seeing you, Julius. Ooh, it's late your time. It's 12:35 my time. I think I've been on for a while. But yeah, took 3 DNA tests to see, for shits and giggles. But there's something about when you see that European blood, you kind of know or you assume that that wasn't voluntary. So who am I as a so-called African American? Because I don't like to call myself African American. I'm a Black woman. Who am I to say who is blacker or to judge someone that has more blackness than I am living in this country. Hmm? No one ever thinks about that. We're too pig-headed because it's a white supremacy ideology. Here's my little white supremacy. Here, here you go. But, oh, let's see. I do have something funny. So, my cousin and I are making these t shirts. We might sell them or we might not. And this came up because I hate fucking Elvis with the passion because he's a thief. And so um, we have this. Oh, you live in Peru. Oh, Big Cat. I actually like you, Big Cat. We'll discuss some things. I've been wanting to go to Colombia and Peru, especially Peru. But so these Elvis things. So such a nerd. So we have two. So one says, "Is this your king?" And then this one says, "Gentrifying music since dot 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 dot." So we're making these into t-shirts. I love it. I think they're gonna be done by this weekend. I don't know if we're gonna sell them, but I know I'm sure gonna be jogging and walking the dogs in them and advertising that shit. Because I fucking hate Elvis with a fucking passion. And plus I want to piss people off because I like to do that. Big Cat. Oh, and yes, by the way, I need to get a new pair of roller skates. Big Cat said, get your skate on. Yes, I do skate. Unfortunately, the video that might be online, it looks like geriatric skating on my end because I found out the skates that I had on the video, they were I could have hurt myself really bad. The rubber part of the wheel was falling off. I found that out when I got to the when I took them off. So I could have fucked myself up pretty much. So I need a new pair of skates, or I could get them repaired. But who has a skating repair place in the time of COVID? But yeah, that's why I was skating uh, like a slow person who's never been on shoes with wheels. Yeah, I can skate better than that. Yeah, they're. I'm gonna have to buy it, and I've had those skates for like 15 years. My homegirl gave them to me. She used to be a roller derby girl in Chicago, and I even tried out for roller derby. And I said like I can't fuck my face up like that. But I love those skates, and plus that's my homegirl. We went to high school together, and it's something nostalgic about those skates. But those skates almost killed me. And plus, where we were skating, we were like near the edge of the lake. We were in Oakland, so I was wondering like, why am I skating like a weirdo? Uh, I'm probably going to end this in the next 5 minutes because this is almost done. I'm glad. I want to thank everyone and myself for lasting this long and talking and schooling and saying some shit, getting things off my chest, off my breasts, off my breasts. Oh, but oh, Michael. Hey, actually, it's gotten okay. So, Michael, it has. I'm so glad you asked that. It's better here. It's not as hazy. It is. I can breathe again. Um, I sat outside. I actually last week, and Michael, you probably will understand me when I say this. All of last week, so coming off of Labor Day, I went camping about 4 hours north near the Oregon border. And that's near Trump country. And we camped. And then that same day when we left, everything was evacuated because of the fires. And then come Tuesday, it was still nice. And then that Wednesday was when darkness has spilled. Darkness. And all that smoke in the red sky. This week has been so much better. I can actually breathe oxygen without having the total recall. Like, yeah, I swear to God, like, if you guys have ever seen the original 1990 Total Recall, that is what it looked like Wednesday last week. It was bad. And actually, Michael, I have family in Tacoma. Yeah, it was Mars. It was Mars. It was unreal. It was unreal. My mom called me on Monday this week saying, like, I can't even go for a bike ride. It's smoky. We brought the smoke. Whoops. And I hear in SoCal, it's pretty bad still. I'm in the Bay Area. I'm in San Francisco. Mhm. Uh, so it's actually cleared up a little bit. But I don't keep my hopes up because climate change is real and natural disasters. You're in Seattle? Nice. You know what, brother? I've never been to Seattle. Such a shithead. I've never been to Seattle. I've always wanted. My boyfriend lived in Seattle. He worked at Microsoft and he talks and boasts about Seattle. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, I know. I heard it sucks there. Like, Michael. Okay. You got me into another mode, Michael. I want to talk about San Francisco and how much it sucks here because it ain't no better. Well, the different too expensive. That is our fault, Michael. Do you know there are hate crimes in the Pacific Northwest because of people that have California plates? I'm sure you've heard these stories of people's homes and cars getting vandalized. Oh, no, 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 not Proud Boys. No, no, not racist stuff. No, just because living here in the Bay Area and people, it's so expensive. And so now they're traveling elsewhere. And so they're going to Portland and Seattle even more and thinking it's cheaper. but people in Portland and Seattle. And here's where Portland, oh, by the way, Portland and Seattle have this like little, "Ugh, which one's cooler? I'm Portland. I'm Seattle." I'll get into it in a moment. Um, but there was some hate crimes I remember hearing about last year in Portland about with people with California plates. Their cars were getting vandalized because they were afraid because of prices going up. There is a class war. All right, so Michael, I'm going to say, yes, I get what you're saying because I am not a liberal. I am a progressive because the true meaning of progressive means progress. You move forward. I don't associate myself with being a liberal anymore because I got a rude awakening living here in San Francisco for 7 years, and I fucking hate, hate. I've had the most racist things in a long time happen to me as a bartender. I'm a bartender, but my job closed down, so because of COVID. And I don't call myself a liberal. I don't, yeah. I would like to visit Seattle. I want to go just to explore it. I'm more of a Portland person. I like Portland. I used to say back in the day, oh, this is the place I want to retire. No, that's a lie. That's not a place I want to retire. I don't want to retire. I don't want to live in the States anymore. After living in, listen, I come from Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri is in the Ozarks. I moved out of Springfield when I was 13 and moved to St. Louis in the suburbs. Got the fuck out of there and moved to Chicago and went to art school. Stayed in Chicago for 11 years and love Chicago. Chicago is my home. My mom moved to Chicago to follow me. Mm. I met my dude in Chicago. I met my best friends. I love Chicago. That's why I hate when people talk about how Chicago is so violent. Motherfucker, you know what violence is? The suburbs. Ooh. And meth towns. I've lived in all demographics. I grew up in like all demographics. The small towns and the suburbs are the scariest places. The hood does not scare me as much. Um, and then I moved here to San Francisco 7 years, 7 years, six, yeah, it's been 7 years. And I'm Midwest and then coming to the West Coast. I thought it was gonna be easy peasy because I'm like, I thought like shit, I know everything. Yeah, shit, I got this. Yeah, I'm cool. Hold on, let me fix my sleeves. Woo, woo, shit. Is my collar up? Hey, wait, I ain't got no collar. Yeah, nah. When I moved to San Francisco, I'm like, this is the worst racism that I ever had to deal with in my entire fucking life. I'm college educated and I know way too much to deal with this bullshit. I'm like, I already have to deal with this. And then the fact of the matter out here, where they pretend that they're liberal and they're like, Oh, yeah, everything's cool and peaceful, man. Fuck you. You're a lie. That fake liberal shit. They are the kind of people that would be like, yeah, I voted for Obama, man. And I'm all for like low cost housing, but not in my neighborhood. The city's fucking racist as fuck. I'm just glad I've met the neighborhood that I live in, which is really diverse. It is the low key, yeah, I already know the low key racism. My grandparents and my parents brought me up very well to know about the low key racism. Because I like mine in my face. Like, if you're going to call me a nigger, oh, please do. So I can tell you how much your great, 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 great grandpappy fuck niggers, and how much he's a nigger, and how much you have a low IQ. And say it with a smile. Ooh, look at your low birth rate self. But I work in the service, or I worked in the service industry, so I would get these like, and I was used to these backhand comments. Oh, you speak so well. I'm like, what do you mean by that? I'm educated. Oh no, that's not what I mean. I'm like, that is what you mean. Or wow, people would touch my hair, play with my hair, and I remember so many things in the past 7 years of living here in the Bay Area. I love my neighborhood though. I live in Bayview, and it is very diverse. And I love going to the grocery store in this neighborhood because it's Black, Asian, and Latino. So you've got people speaking Spanish, Mandarin, and sometimes Black people speaking Spanish, and just Black people being Black, which is nice. But San Francisco is a very problematic city. It is very problematic, and it's a racist ass city. It's not as liberal as people think it is. This is the most racist underground city that I've ever lived in. That says a fucking lot. But I cannot say that the outskirts of the city, it's beautiful. I like hiking. I like camping. I like discovering things. I've always been that person. And yes, Black people do hike. I've been hiking for a long time. I love Northern California. It's really beautiful. And I would not move back. But it's also, it's also California's warming up, man. Climate change is real. Like Seattle and Portland, they're warming up. We have to think about that. I guess you're super. I'm very superstitious, honey. I'm part Creole. I'm very superstitious. But anything that I'm saying right now is not superstition. This is I'm just talking about climate change, especially what happened within the past week. Like this time last week, you would not see me talking to you and being as jovial or being with you guys. No, not at all. Um, it was smoky, it was dark, it was very biblical. Is this what 2020 is? Is this the biblical year? I mean, I'm not a religious person, but this year, you gotta take notes for sure. I just, and people are forgetting like that there's still a virus. Like my dad was asking me, like, when you gonna come and see me? Because he lives in Kansas City. Sorry, I call it Kansas City, Kansas City. And I said, I don't know. I don't want to get on a plane. I don't want to. But all I know is it's just I'm not taking this very easy and calm, and like I'm not the kind of person that's just like let people go to school. And that's what pisses me off even more. I don't Kids should not be in school. We would say kids with flu should stay at home. I People don't understand how serious this shit is. We have on one side, on the black side, we're always wanting to turn up and have a party. We can't stop and sit down and not have a party. But then on the white side, you're treating us like slaves. This is all freedom. Hey, stop. This is treating us like slaves. Hey, I don't need a mask. It's just a flu. Huh? This is about our freedom. No, I don't have kids. Big cat. No. No bambinos aquí. Maybe one day, but no. Uh yeah, the freedom on the white side versus the turn up kids on the black side. I'm just like, okay, who's ready to die? Y'all both sound stupid. Panties cover. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Michael. Like, and Georgia was the first. Kemp. Oh, Kemp. Why can't he get it? Is a mask going to really big cat? Really? I'm just common sense right here. You're gonna really do that? What's a mask going to do? I don't know. Try to protect you. That's like a condom. Hey, I'm going to protect myself from getting this person pregnant or getting an STD. So I'm going to put a condom on so I can prevent that. You get it? The mask is the condom. You understand that, right? I'm just saying. Did anyone take a biology class or comes? Yeah, it's not that hard. Do you know it's us that are dying, but not anymore. Uh, and by the way, we need to stop saying that. Black people, it's just us that are dying. No, actually, it's poor white people who are dying. So let's just build that up a little bit more. More steam for that. Those Trump supporters. Uh, but, you know, I don't understand. See, this is why the American school system has failed a lot of folks because they're stupid and don't have common sense. They don't have critical thinking skills. And they don't think about basic science of like even catching a cold or a flu. And when I hear some of these white supremacists talk about, well, asking you ask me to wear a mask is like me being in slavery. I got a problem with that. You think you wearing a mask is like slavery? Let me put you in some chains. I'll show you what slavery really looks like. All right? I'm just saying. If you want to play slave versus master, the disease is going to win over both of us. Anywho, I'm almost out. Let's see. Oh my God. Chains and whips. Right? Yeah. Just, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm scared of COVID. Honey, okay. Big cat, first of all, pussycat. I'm gonna call you pussycat. So I spend my holiday uh, December, the majority of month of December through early month of January. I was in Asia visiting family. I came back around January 10th. I was in Shanghai. The outbreak came in Shanghai right when I was arriving back home. And so when I came back home, so my coworkers like, "Oh, did you get that? Are you?" I was like, "No." Fast fast forward to March. Oh shit! Everything's on lockdown. Never heard that before. Never had that happen before. The COVID thing is a real thing. I don't care whatever you. It's not a hoax. We can talk about that. All right. I was this close to being basically stuck in China for about a long time. And I made it right back before everything really got really crazy in January. And so here comes March, and look where we are now. My aunt, I talk to my aunt all the time. They're actually getting their nails done and getting massages, though things have started to slow down again because there's a second wave. So We can talk about how it started at a different date and what have you. We can talk about that. That's a great conversation. But the thing is, it's a real thing. Um, Countries don't shut down for fun. Countries like to make money. The most greediest thing in the world, I mean, come on, we're in a global economy. People like to make money. They are like, fuck the people. But if you are going to have people sick and down and people are dying, the world is going to shut down. And here in America, we could have slightly got things under control, but look who we have. We have President Retard. Mm, I don't want to get into politics, but I'm not voting for that fuckface. And I hate Jim Crow Joe. I don't like that motherfucker. But unfortunately, my sorry ass, who is a Bernie supporter, it's too much going on. Okay? At this point, it's do or die. So I'm not playing. I like to play with death a little bit when it's my choice. But when death is playing with people that don't deserve it, I gotta do something to stop it. And yeah, it's not by just voting, but being out in the streets. And that's actually what I'm doing. I'm not just sitting here talking to you and scratching my ass. I'm actually out there in the streets when I can breathe. But we wouldn't be in this situation as much if arrogant fucking Americans would have had a tall glass of shut the fuck up and taken a break for a month. But we can't do that. We are impatient motherfuckers and arrogant. And thank you, and entitled. Thank you, Michael. So miss me with that bullshit. You can't you can't tell a disease anything. I mean, it's a disease, yo. Big cat, people are mad about obesity. Yeah, actually, big cat, people are mad about obesity. Honey, oh, and you just, why are you losing me on this? I know. I talk about obesity. Actually, that was one of the things I used to talk about all the time before COVID. But actually, people who are obese are actually the prime targets of COVID because they have respiratory problems. Honey, biology, a basic biology book from eighth grade, it'll do you some justice of how things work in science. Because science is just, I know McDonald's is open and you're talking about a choice, but COVID is not a choice. You're not making a good argument. It's not a good, that's, yeah, no, that's not a good analogy. Science is not man made. No. Is photosynthesis man made? Honey. Oh my God. Is procreation man made? So that's science too. What are you talking about? What is wrong with you? Diseases, embryos, amoebas, these are things. What is wrong with you? You're gonna make me want to pull my hair out. The flu, just, huh? What is, have you read a biology book, Pussycat? Science is not man. So, photosynthesis is man made. Growing fruit and vegetables because sun and the way you water it at a certain temperature, that's man made. Come on, man. Really? You better be smarter than this. Cause I'm gonna have to drag you. Please don't. You're too good. Okay. I'm gonna be like Frankie and relax. I hope you get that reference. I'm gonna be like Frankie and relax. Don't do it. But before I go, I just want to say something, and I might get myself into some shit. Uh, there's this. I have certain favorite YouTubers that. Okay, I have a couple favorites now. I'm in the underground YouTube spiral, and so Miss what's her name? I was just hold on 1 second. Uno momento. I think it was 50. General of Pennsylvania know. Oh no, that's Umar. What I'm going to have to let the Attorney General of Pennsylvania know is my school is not in Pennsylvania. My school is not incorporated in Pennsylvania. Oh, that's my home. I like that's Pastor Lee. I like him. He's a sweetheart. I just told him I was on live. He's filming Dr. Umar stuff. I don't like that. Operating in Pennsylvania. It is none of your damn business. But my certifications are in Pennsylvania. Yeah, turn them on. You're right. Because he is a shyster. Oh, here. It was oh yeah, it is Miss 504 keeps it real TV. I love her. I love her. So let's get back into this one. This is part 2 that I'm making, part 2, and then after this 2, there's no more. But let me say this first before I start it. Okay, see? Okay, let me not. I don't know what the fuck. Say too much. Y'all thinking y'all coming this up comment section, it don't face me, but I will. Yeah, some of y'all exactly, Michael. He is a colorist. He's a fraud. And what I don't like, and we're talking about Umar Johnson. Ooh, I'm not going to be an Umar Johnson channel, by the way. There's too many of him. But fuck you, you grimy piece of shit. Yeah. Yes, Umar Johnson is such a fucking fraud. And whoever still buys into that, you the sucker. And plus, who asks resumes to be their wife? Like, that's vile. Like, Why would you do that? He's mm-mm. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I'm not gonna get in trouble.
How do we catch up? We're so far behind. How do we catch up to make sure that we?
Oh, it's okay. All right. So there's this channel. I can't even take it seriously. I keep laughing because it's really funny. He's always mad or into some shit. It's this RGR Smokehouse. He's always.
You know what I'm saying? I know him better as Fat Solar. Shout out to El Zappo putting Bill Hall on the map once again with C-Note and Young and Little Boosie. Man, I told y'all he had remixed that Purpose with Little Boosie. They just hadn't put the video out yet. So we're going to start off the show with that. Welcome to RGR. I'm your host, L.A. The first time over, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this video on your favorite Facebook page or Twitter. You feel me?
No, I don't feel you. Anyway, he's always like into it with different YouTubers. I don't know who he's into.
Because brother, I can't wait till you die, your mama die. I'm gonna do a video and I'm gonna celebrate. And we're gonna party when you die, nigga. I give a fuck. I give a fuck.
Talk to each other.
I don't give a fuck. Anybody can get it right now. The way I feel. Ain't nothing happening tonight. Man, this boy is no small talk. We to the point we roast. We going in. This boy is emotional.
Okay, all right. I'm not trying to get into any kind of YouTube beef, but yo, that dude is. I don't know. Elevation. I don't
need it. What do you think about Kamala Harris and Cory Booker? I know you said voting is an illusion. They're probably nice people. They're going to do it for black folk. You say, I haven't yet to this day ever heard or seen not one president, not one candidate for public office ever get up and say, here's what I'm going to do for black folk. That violates the entire premise of politics. Politics is a process that decides who's going to get what benefits out of life. It's based on a very simple premise of quid pro quo. Politics, as you know it now, never existed about the 1500s. And what it says, we would determine who gets what blessings.
But
who suffers. And so, consequently,
I think I mentioned this last week.
You talked about the candidates. The first thing black folks should be asking is not what candidate you're going to represent.
Going into the YouTube poll. But I have to say,
you thought I was gonna be a weak motherfucker.
Miss 405 keeps it real is my favorite, and I have to give a shout out to her because
that shit will never leave out of a person's brain, their mind. Every time I look at you, you look like a two-piece thigh.
So she's roasting Hassan.
That's all I can see is you.
Hassan Campbell. Yeah.
18 tons of a man. What pounds? 50 tons. What y'all talking about? That's true.
Proceed. But let me not do that. Okay. Anywho. She's actually my favorite YouTuber right now. She's really fucking dope. Shout out to Miss 405. I really like her a lot. And I don't get involved with YouTube drama, stupid shit. I got my own black problems, thank you very much, in the real world. Um, but actually, before I go, and I said that an hour ago, um, before I go, why are YouTube people taking this really too seriously? Like, you have YouTube thugs that want to fight and actually fly or drive people to prove a point. What is that? I don't get that. It's weird.
And then he also stood at some like switch. I think the wire thing. Right, but did you see?
But anyhow. All right. Well, 405. You don't like panel discussions, Michael? I like panel discussions. I do. To each their own, you know. I understand. You know, I I was in debate team when I was in high school, so a panel, you put me on a podium and a panel, I will debate you, and but I will have to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. And if I suck at what I'm talking about, you are going to know. I'm going to not talk. But anywho, I've been talking too much. Um, oh my God. I think it's time for me to go to sleep. Plus, uh, it's late. And I've been talking to you guys for a long time, so I'm sure you're tired of me. And it's getting boring, love. So I want to say so long, farewell. I'll meet you till the end. So long, farewell. I'll meet you to the end. So long, farewell. I'll meet you to the end. So long, farewell. I'll meet you to the end.